This short video is going to walk you through doing a view corridor survey with interviews. From your My Survey 123 page, you'll want to make sure that you are selecting the correct app, and it's the NVUM Fiscal Year 23 View Corridor. And once you click on that one, you'll go ahead and click on Collect Data down in the left-hand corner. And it'll bring you to the administrative information page. You're going to go ahead and type in your name. And then you want to enter your QR code from your monthly schedule. And then go ahead and click on the region. And the following cells will auto-populate: the region, the forest, the district, site number, site name, and the site type. And you'll need to enter the use level, and that will be on your monthly calendar, and it will either be low, medium, high, very high, or proxy. This particular one is a proxy, so you'll notice that once you click that proxy radio button that it auto-populates the field below that and the proxy code below that. Is this a substitute day? You're most likely going to answer no, unless we've told you otherwise. And once you're ready to begin your survey, you're going to go ahead and make sure that it has the proper date and time. And will there be interviews at the site today? You're going to answer yes. The first thing you're going to be doing is doing your period 1-hour vehicle count, and you're going to be observing traffic, both commercial and non-commercial, going in one direction of travel. And your period 1 traffic counter, you're going to be clicking the plus signs for commercial traffic and non-commercial traffic until one of those fields reaches 100. And once one of them has reached 100, you're going to continue the rest of your hour by counting traffic on the end tally and hand tally end count field. And you'll notice that in that third field that you'll have a running total. That running total will continue throughout your entire survey day. So you don't ever want to hit the refresh button because that will clear the entire screen. So once you've finished your first hour of traffic, then you're ready to conduct interviews for 1.5 hours. If there are restrooms or a visitor information center, station yourself on the sidewalk around that area and make sure you're wearing your vest and name badge. It's best to approach people on their way out of buildings rather than on their way in. When you're ready to start your first interview, you're going to go ahead and click that plus sign in the middle of the screen. And you're going to want to make sure that you verify that you're doing a view corridor interview, not an Alaska cruise ship interview. And then go ahead and click the radio button to start new interview. And then you're going to read the paragraph that starts with: the Forest Service is conducting interviews of visitors traveling this route. And the first question is, would you be willing to take a few minutes to participate in this interview? And you're going to answer either yes or no, depending on what the guest tells you. This person is going to say yes, So you'll go ahead and continue with the interview. And again, they want you to verify that this is not an Alaska cruise ship survey, so you're going to answer yes there. And then you're going to enter the home zip code of the person that you're interviewing. And if they don't know, that's fine. You can just select the don't know radio button, or if they're from somewhere else, you just go ahead and select the appropriate radio button. And then the next question is, what is your age? And it goes in 10-year ranges. So you're just going to go ahead and enter whatever they tell you. And then gender, you'll go ahead and enter. And don't assume, just ask the question. And the next question, are you Hispanic or Latino, not Hispanic or Latino, or you don't want to answer, and you go ahead and enter what they tell you there. And then on the with which racial group do you most closely identify, you go ahead and click the radio button on what they tell you. And what is the primary purpose of your visit through this area? Working or commuting, only stopping to use the bathroom, only passing through, some other reason, or recreation. You want to go ahead and click the radio button that they tell you. And then what is your major reason you chose this route? And you want to choose either view scenery and wildlife or some other reason. And did you or do you plan to go in any other places on this forest to recreate or view scenery today? And that'll be a yes, no, or a don't know answer. And then how many people, including you, traveled here in the same vehicle? And how many of those people are less than 16 years old? And now you want to go ahead and click the yes, this interview has been completed radio button. And then you're ready to set up for the next interview. You're going to want to click the plus sign on the right-hand bottom corner. And now you're going to verify that you're doing a view corridor interview, not an Alaska cruise ship interview. And then you're ready to start a new interview. And then you're going to read the paragraph. The Forest Service is conducting interviews of visitors traveling this route again. And you're going to answer yes or no. And then you're going to thank them for their time, as this person did not agree to be interviewed. And then you're going to click yes, this interview has been completed. You'll notice that you have 2 of 2 interviews. And then if you have a third interview, you're going to go ahead and click that plus sign in the right-hand bottom corner again. And you're going to go through whether it's a view corridor or Alaska cruise ship, and it's always going to be view corridor interview. And you're ready to start a new interview. Go ahead and click the plus sign for your next interview. And for the next 1.5 hours, you just continue conducting the interviews that same way. And after your first 1.5 hours of interviews, then you can go ahead and take a 30-minute break. And when you return from break, you're ready to do period number 2 of your vehicle counting for 1 hour, and you're going to observe traffic in the opposite direction of travel this time. You'll want to go ahead and say yes, you would like to begin your second traffic count period. And it'll come up with your counting screen again, and you're going to be doing the same thing, only in the opposite direction. You're going to count commercial and non-commercial traffic, and you're going to use the top two counters until one of them reaches 100. And once that one reaches 100, you're going to move down and finish out your hour with the hand tally end count button. And notice again that you'll have a running total of both counting periods at the end. So it's very important to never hit that refresh button. And once you're done with that second hour of counting vehicles, you're ready to conduct interviews for 2 more hours. You'll be conducting interviews for the final 2 hours. If there are restrooms or a visitor information center, you want to station yourself on the sidewalk around that area. And remember, it's best to approach people on their way out rather than in. And you want to select that this is a view corridor interview. And the radio button for start a new interview. And then you want to read the paragraph that starts the Forest Service is conducting interviews of visitors traveling this route. And then if the person agrees to be interviewed, you click the yes radio button, and if not, then you're going to click the no radio button. So this person has agreed to be interviewed, and the first thing you want to do is again confirm that this is not an Alaska cruise ship survey. And then you're going to ask them for their home zip code. And if they don't know, that's okay. Or if they're from another country, you just click the appropriate radio button. And then you're going to ask their age and just click the radio button for the appropriate age range. And then ask them their gender, male or female, and you go ahead and enter whichever they tell you. And the next is Hispanic or Latino, not Hispanic or Latino, and there's a refuse to answer if they don't wish to share that information. And then you have the racial group question, and the same thing, there's a refuse button if they don't care to share that information as well. And then you're going to choose their primary purpose for their visit through this area. And then you're going to ask if they came to view scenery, wildlife, or for some other reason. And then ask them whether they plan to go to any other places on the forest to recreate or view scenery today, and they can say yes, no, or that they don't know. And then ask how many people traveled in the same vehicle. And then how many of those people are under 16 years of age. And then you're going to thank them for their time, and you're going to click yes, this interview has been complete. And then when you're ready to set up for another interview, go ahead and click that plus sign on the bottom right corner. And just continue doing interviews for the next 2 hours exactly as you did in the first interview period. And then after your 2 hours of interviewing are complete, it's time to close out your view corridor survey for the day. So you want to make sure that your date and time are correct. And even though you did take a break, go ahead and enter 0 here. The total survey time in hours auto-populates, and it should always be at least 6 hours. And the number of surveys conducted this day, it auto-populates, so you don't want to change that. And then you have a text box at the bottom, and you want to go ahead and enter information about the day, anything interesting that you may have seen or been told. The only thing you don't want to do is enter personal information there. And then you'll want to go ahead and click that check mark on the bottom right corner. And that will take you to the survey completed. And if your device is online, it'll have 3 choices: send now, continue this survey, or save it to the outbox. You'll want to go ahead and save it to the outbox. And then you'll notice that on that page with the app where it says collect, that your outbox will be showing below it on the left-hand bottom corner. So when you get home and you're connected to Wi-Fi, this is what it should look like when you log into Survey 123. And you'll notice up in the right-hand top corner that there's a little symbol up there. That means that you're on Wi-Fi. And on the bottom right, it'll tell you how many surveys you have in your outbox. And so you just want to click the outbox and send. You'll see once you click the outbox that the send is down on the bottom right. And once you click send, your survey should disappear and it'll say outbox is empty. And you have finished your View Corridor survey. And remember, under any circumstances, never go back and change any counts or anything. If you think there's a problem, let us know, but never change counts once you're into the next observation period. And this is just a little chart of the schedule for a View Corridor with interviews day.